biscuit, making gravy, making cake, making cookies. Yeah, Small's Kitchen, ooh, Small's Kitchen. Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Storm's Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing some of them good old country style homemade buttermilk biscuits. And there's a couple of things here. First off, we're going to be using today, we're going to use the lard, but you certainly can use butter in replacement of the lard if you need to. But here's the thing: if you're going to make biscuits that's going to eat with sausage or sausage gravy or something, lard biscuits are probably the best. They're certainly my favorite. If you're going to make some just to eat with jelly or honey or something, you probably want to use butter. But for my personal viewpoint, I just use the lard for either one. But that's what I was raised on. Okay, and we're going to use buttermilk in this recipe. But here's another thing to keep in mind: if you're getting up making these biscuits for the kids before they go to school, and you get up and it's one of those days you're out of buttermilk, you're out of lard, you can use butter, and you can substitute regular milk if you want to. The kiddos are not going to know the difference. They're not going to be as good without the buttermilk, but you certainly can substitute that, because I know you're not running a restaurant here, right? You're just trying to get the kids fed and get them off to school. So right now, let's look at the ingredients we're going to need. We're going to need flour, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda and baking powder are 2 different things. About 7 tablespoons of lard, and I'm going to have this lard is going to come out of the refrigerator. It's going to be cold. If I'm using butter, the colder I get it, the better it's going to mix up and make biscuits. 3/4 cup of cold buttermilk. Those are your ingredients. Along with your ingredients, you're also going to need these items. You're going to need a bowl, of course, to mix it in. You're going to need a flat surface in which to make the biscuits on. I have this liner that's made for rolling out doughs, either pies or biscuits or what have you. I think I got that at Walmart. So something to mix them up on. You're going to need a whisk to get your dry ingredients together. You're going to need something to, when you add your milk, to turn your dough. I use an icing spatula. All right, you need a lard cutter or a butter cutter. I've got, as you see in the picture here, I've got my granny's laying out there. Okay, but you certainly can use a more modern one. It's going to be about the same thing. It's just not going to look as old. All right, and you need a rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin and you want to roll them, you can use a large tumbler, or you can just fold the dough about 8 times and go to cutting your biscuits. Okay, but for today we're going to use the roller. All right, let's get with it. All right, the first thing we're going to do here is we are going to preheat our oven, 425 degrees, so that it's at that temperature when we're ready to put those biscuits in. Okay, so I have my flour, baking soda, salt, baking powder, all in there. And I'm going to whisk this good so I got a good blend of it. I don't have it just all the other ingredients on top of the flour. All right, we're going to whisk that up real good. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes worth and really go to town on it. You notice I've got my buttermilk and my lard, both these cold. I got these over here ready. As soon as I get this whisked up, we're going to add the good stuff. And every now and again, you got to have your little helper. Pop's got to have his helper, even though he's got a baster, and you probably don't need this for biscuits. But we'll see. He's gonna get old enough one of these days. He's gonna be able to eat these biscuits. All right, so now you can use butter, but I'm a lard kind of guy. All right, and the colder you get this, the better. I'm gonna drop them in there. different locations. Large sticky bowl. We had Pop had to turn little one over to Gram. All right, now I'm going to take this pastry cutter here and I'm going to cut this lard in, or my butter. And again, I'm using Granny's pastry cutter, so it's a bit old, but it does the trick. That's made a mini a biscuit right there. Now, it's going to take me about 5 minutes here to get all this cut in, but I should get a real powdery mixture when I'm done, after I get it all cut in. Okay, and again, the colder your butter or lard is, the better it'll cut in. So, give us about 5 minutes and we'll have it ready, almost like crumbs. Okay, so we've got the mix in there. That's about 5 minutes cutting it in with the pastry cutter. It almost looks like crumbs right now. It's almost like crumbs if I touch it. Alright, so I'm going to move it in the center. I'm going to dig out a hole here where I can pour my buttermilk. Now, alright, so I've got the milk poured in there. Here's the thing, the less that you work with this, the fluffier your biscuits are going to be. Okay, so we just want to turn it over a few times with this whisk until we see our dough starting to come out. See, the dough's wanting to form. I'll just scrape the bottom so it ain't on there. Now I want to flour my surface lightly here. And then I'm going to turn my dough out right on top of that. Right on top of that. Again, I don't want to work with it too much here. If I don't have a rolling pin, I can fold it a few times. I just want to get my dough out. All of my dough. I hear somebody after Pop in there, but Pop will get the biscuits done in a minute. Once I get everything out right there. Okay. And I probably should have went ahead and put some flour on my hands. So it don't stick to my hands. Yeah, I'm going to put a little flour on my rolling pin here. Get it ready. Alright. Now I'm just going to kind of move this together in a little ball here. Again, I'm not going to disturb it too much. Just enough to get it in that little ball. And then I'm going to lightly roll it out. Now I like to roll mine about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. That makes them big biscuits, them big fat biscuits. Alright. Now, I had laying out here in the picture some cutters. You got the regular old granny style biscuit cutter, which will make some small biscuits. But me, I like to make them big cat head biscuits. So this is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to use a little bigger one because, well, I just want bigger biscuits. I can put the crumpled edge to them. Or I can put the smooth edge, either one. I'm going to use the crumpled edge. Now, when I'm making it with the kids, they like to use them little heart cutters and cut out. Especially my niece, she likes to cut them little heart biscuits out. Alright, so when I get to here, I'm just going to put this together. Now these are not going to be as fluffy because I've got to work this dough here to work out some more. But as you see, there's about 5 biscuits right there. Alright, I'm just going to roll it out again. It'll make more if you use the smaller cutter. But I'm using the large cutter because I want them big cat head biscuits. Alright. Now, we would probably normally just go on and toss that dough if I were to be at a restaurant or something, but obviously if we're making it for the family, we ain't throwing no dough away. So them again are not going to probably be as tall and fluffy. But there we go. I'm going to lay them on I'm going to make a little baby biscuit here. Alright, and I'm going to lay them on my cooking sheet. We're going to put them in the oven. Alright, I've got them laying on these. Some people like to use the one with the taller sides so then they'll put them together and they'll climb up them, or the round bowl with them touching sides, and again where they can climb up it. Me, I just throw them on this little cookie sheet right here and we're going to go with it. There's 8.5 biscuits right there. Alright, after about 12 minutes, they should be about done, 12 to 15 minutes really. After about 12, I moved them up to the top rack for a couple more minutes and browned. You want to brown the tops of them here, and then we just got to get this little plate like this right here. A little biscuit. We just move them over. Yum, yum, yum. That's what I'm talking about right there, them big cat head biscuits. And you see some of them, the ones that I handled the less, they rose up a little bit more than the other ones. There we go. Them good old country style buttermilk biscuits. That's going to do it for this episode of Storm's Kitchen. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and feed them kids them biscuits. Storm's Kitchen, ooh, Storm's Kitchen. Making biscuits, making gravy, making cake, making cookies. Yeah, Storm's Kitchen, ooh, Storm's Kitchen.